Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the new session of Him Tutorials, 7th chapter, Living and Non-Living Things we are learning, and the topic characteristics of living things is going on. In our previous video we have learned 3 characteristics out of 12, and today also we are going to learn 3 next characters of the living things. As a subtopic we will learn that how living things show movement, how they utilize food and energy, and what is the importance of respiration in living things. So let's begin with the first character, that is, or I will write it is the 4th character, that is living things show movement. Now in this you can say category of movement, we will discuss 2 terms. First we will discuss that what is movement, and second we will discuss that what is locomotion. So movement means the change in any body part of the organism. Maybe it's plant, maybe it's animal. Okay, if any, for example, if I am organism, I am just moving my hand, I am just waving my hand, I am just turning my head. So this is movement. Why it's movement? Because I am still on one position. I am not changing my position with time, but I am changing my, you can say, posture with time. So similarly, plants and animals, they both show movement. Plants and animals, they both show movement. Locomotion means any organism which changes its place, its position with time. Okay, for example, this time I am standing here, now I walk and I change my position. So this displacement of one place to another, this is called as locomotion. This is called as locomotion. But the actual definition of locomotion is that the movement of organism in search of food, water and shelter, that is called as locomotion, and it is mainly done only by animals and human beings. Okay, animals. So locomotion is done only by animals because plants are fixed to their place and they can't change their position, but animals can change their position from one place to another in search of food, water and shelter. Okay, also for the mate, for the breeding purpose. Now this is about the things that they show movement. If I talk about example, then in case of animals, if I take, then all animals locomote, they move from one place to another. And if I talk about plants, how they show movement, they are not locomotion, they are not showing locomotion. Okay, they are only showing movement. How they are showing movement? The growth of plants. Okay, then you can say some plants like touch me not, when we touch the leaves of that plant, all the leaves got folded up. Then if we take one character which is common for all the plants, that shoot always grows upward. Okay, the shoot of the plant always grows upward to have water, air, to have sunlight. Okay, and roots always grows downward and they are always in soil. So this is also a movement. That law of roots, or you can say nature of roots, is this, that they can move downwards because in the soil there is presence of water molecules, and roots have to absorb water molecules for the process of photosynthesis. So that's why roots grow downward and shoot always grows upward. Okay, so if I talk one more example, then sunflower plant, you have seen that what sunflower does. Sunflower will move towards the sun. As the direction of the sun changes, the head of the sunflower also changes. Okay, that is from east to west. So sunflower also shows movement by moving its flower from east to west. Another example if I go for, then plants, when they are bud, they are very small. Okay, if they are bud, they are just packed like this. But when the flower blooms, then what will happen? These are the green sepals and the petals will move outward. The petals of the flower will move outward. This is also one kind of movement which is shown by the plant. Okay. And these all kinds of movements which are shown by plants, they are called as tropic movements. They are called as tropic movements or trophism. Now we will discuss about the fifth character of the living thing, that living things need food and energy. So we know that all organisms on this earth need food, because with the help of food they release energy, and with that energy they do their all life activities. Either they are plants or they are animals or they are humans. Okay. So in case of plants, plants make their own food, which is under the process called as photosynthesis. And this is mostly carried by the green plants. Okay. And the second thing is that in case of animals, animals are not making their own food. They are depending upon plants. Mainly herbivore animals are depending upon what? Plants. We humans are also depending on plants for fruits, vegetables, cereals, pulses, all kind of food stuff. Okay. And herbivores are eaten by what? Carnivores. So carnivores are also indirectly depend upon what? Plants. So all the organisms on this world depend upon plants for their food. Plants make their own food with the help of process called photosynthesis. So that is why they are called as autotrophs. Autotroph means that organism which prepare its food by itself, and troph means nutrition. So autotrophs are those organisms which go for self-nutrition. They can prepare their own food. But in case of animals, what they do? Animals and non-green plants. You will discuss about, there are some plants which are non-green. They are not of green color. If they are not of green color, then they do not undergo photosynthesis. Then they depend upon other plants for their food. You will learn about them in higher classes. So animals and non-green plants, they do not make their own food and they depend upon other organisms for the food. So they are called as heterotrophs. Again, hetero means other and trophs means nourishment. So animals are those which depend upon other organisms for their food, for their nourishment. So that's why they are called as heterotrophs. And when they both, plants and animals and non-green plants and humans, when we eat food, then energy is released in our body, and that energy is utilized to do the daily work. Okay. Now the sixth character which I am going to discuss is very important character, that is called as living things respire to use energy. Okay. So here energy is formed both in autotrophs and heterotrophs, means both in plants and animals and non-green plants. All have made the energy. But now this energy is to be utilized by the body for carry out different processes. How it is utilized? Let's discuss about that. Now this respiration, or you can say using oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide, this is also given in two concepts. As first is breathing and second is respiration. So please understand this point very carefully, because it is very important point. Breathing means just to inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. What is breathing? Inhaling inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. So intake of oxygen and outtake of carbon dioxide. This is called as breathing. And in case of respiration, some people say that breathing and respiration are the same, but breathing and respiration are not same. Breathing is a mechanical process. Only the lungs are filled with the air, and then the carbon dioxide which is produced in our lungs, that is expelled by our lungs with the help of nostrils. Okay, but in case of respiration, what is respiration? It is the process in which the oxygen is used in oxidation of food. Okay, respiration is a process in which oxygen which is intake by our body, that oxygen is utilized by our body to break down the what? Food and utilize the energy. Okay, now in simple equation, if I try to give you the concept, then we eat food. Okay, we all eat food, mainly heterotrophs I am talking about. We all need food, we eat food, and when we eat food, that food is digested in our digestive system. So in our digestive system, the food is absorbed by the blood. The blood which is present in our body, our blood absorbs the food, digested food from the digestive system in form of glucose. Now what will happen? Each cell has glucose. When each cell has glucose, if I give you an example, for example, this is a cell of body. Okay, and this is blood vessel going on. This is the blood vessel, it is carrying the blood. Now what will happen? This blood carries glucose in it. It carries glucose in it. Plus also it carries oxygen in it. What it carries? Oxygen in it. Blood has both the things, glucose also, oxygen also. Now these red blood cells give the glucose and oxygen to the cell of the body, Now cell will utilize glucose in the presence of oxygen and release back carbon dioxide and energy and water. So what will going on? Glucose utilize oxygen and utilizes the oxygen and gives us carbon dioxide plus water plus energy is released. Okay, now this carbon dioxide which is released by the cell, and again the blood will take this carbon dioxide and give to the lungs. Okay, so what is going on in the process of respiration in animals? That glucose utilizes the oxygen and it will form carbon dioxide, water and energy is released. But in case of plants, little complexity is there. Plants undergo both the process, photosynthesis also and respiration also. Let's check about that. In case of plants, the carbon dioxide and water, they combine in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll and they will form glucose. This process is called as photosynthesis and it occurs at daytime, because at daytime the carbon dioxide enter by the stomata, because they open only at the daytime, and water is absorbed by the soil, by the roots, absorbed by the roots from the soil. So in the daytime photosynthesis take place. but still plant can't use energy over here for its life activities. So when will the plant utilize the energy for its life activity? That is the night time. In night time, the glucose combines with oxygen. Now here, the stomata will not open in night time. Okay, they only open in daytime. If stomata will not open, then how will the air enter inside the plant or a tree? Then there are cells called as Lenti cells. These cells help in entering of the oxygen inside the plants and trees. Now glucose is present there, oxygen is present there, so oxidation of food will take place and it will lead to the formation of the carbon dioxide plus water, and energy is released, and that energy is utilized by the plants for its life activities. So there is a common saying that don't sleep near the tree in night, because tree will kill you. How tree will kill you? Because it will not give you oxygen, it will give you carbon dioxide. So I hope you understand this topic very well. So let's recap very quickly all the things we have learned. 3 characteristics, that is living things show movement, and along with the movement animals show locomotion. Then living things need food and energy. With the help of you can say plants, the photosynthesis process goes on. They are autotrophs, they form their own food, but the animals and the human beings, they are the heterotrophs. They are depend upon directly or indirectly on the plants for their food. And the last one we have done, that the energy which is produced inside the body, that should be utilized by the body with the help of process called as respiration in case of plants and animals both. How? In animals, respiration process goes on. Okay, there is no photosynthesis, they can't make their own food, they depend upon others. But in case of plants, in daytime photosynthesis take place, and in night time the you can say respiration takes place. So up to our next video, keep watching, keep learning, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.